Well, hi. Today is Wednesday, November 20th, 2024, and this is Morning Coffee. Hi, I'm Todd Studer. We are just 2 days away from Winterfest in Council Bluffs. All the activities going on down at Bayless Park. And, well, before we get any farther into that, I want to let you know that please stick around because we have a very special guest that is going to be on the show today. There is a Nashville recording artist that's going to be playing at the Slowdown in Omaha on Friday. I had a chance to talk to her, and I'm going to be bringing you that conversation. It's Belle's Omaha native, and she is freshly signed to a music label and out on a national tour, hitting big cities, and she's getting down to the end of this tour, and Omaha is one of the few dates that she has left, and that is coming up Friday. Doors open at 7, and the show starts at 8. However, you can stop by Winterfest first and still get over there to make the show at the Slowdown. So, because Winterfest gets started with this lighting ceremony at 6, so you're going to want to be there a little bit earlier than that, so you can be in the park on Friday when they throw the switch for the lighting. Be part of the countdown. It's going to be tons of fun. Also going on will be the movie Frozen. They'll be showing that. There'll be characters from Frozen. That'll be going along the north side of the park, right in front of the fountain. Also along First Avenue, you'll find horse and carriage rides. And the food truck food court is going to be on the corners of Pearl Street and also Willow. So you'll be able to see food trucks there, get something to eat. There's going to be a maker's market in that area as well. Live music. You can visit Santa's workshop, see Santa and Mrs. Claus, ice sculpting, face painting, balloon art, all kinds of stuff. I am going to be across the street, across South 6th at the Masonic Lodge, because that's going to be a warming station that the Masons are putting there. So if you want to get warm, stop in for some free hot chocolate, maybe some cider. It'll be warm cider from what I understand. They'll have cookies there. There'll be carolers there. And I'm going to be there with a live webcast on Facebook. And we'll be doing that just a little bit after 6. So stop in, and I'll have a banner up, and you'll be able to see there's a QR code on there that you can scan. That'll take you right to my Les Hills Media and Podcast Facebook page. So you can watch it, too, if you like. Even if you're down there roaming around the park, you can still see what's going on inside of the Masonic Lodge. So lots of fun going to be going on this Friday. Also, I understand that George Ivanoff, the best wrestler, is taking some students and athletes down very soon to Tulsa for a national tournament. So we want to wish them the best of luck. If you have a young athlete in your family that you would like to see get to the next level with wrestling, my opinion is there's no better wrestling club than the best wrestler with George Ivanoff, former Olympic wrestler, All-American collegiate wrestler, state champion in high school at Lewis Central. This gentleman he knows his stuff. And he proves it day in and day out with the success that his athletes are having. So go to thebestwrestler.com to learn more. Also, Sprout Marketing Solutions has come on board with us to help support Morning Coffee. That is Kelsey, and Sprout Marketing Solutions is there when you're ready to get your online marketing off to the next level. So go to sproutmarketingsolutions.com and take a look at everything that Kelsey has to offer. Set up a time to sit down and talk with her. And I already know some folks that watch this show that are doing that. So see how she can help you get your business just skyrocketing and heading on up into the stratosphere. I'm sure that she would love to be able to help you. All right. We, as we mentioned, have a country artist coming home this Friday night with the show starting at 8, doors open at 7 at the Slowdown. Belle's is coming, and we had an opportunity to talk with her, and she's actually still down in Nashville, but just about to come up our direction. Good morning, young lady. How is your tour going? Because I looked at all the dates you've been on. You've been hitting some really big cities, and you're kind of getting down into the short rows now.
Yeah, only 3 left.
What's it like coming back to Omaha? Because you grew up in Omaha, and so is it kind of a homecoming? Does the show feel any different when you're doing it in your hometown?
It does, because when I go to all these other cities, I maybe know 1 or 2 people in the audience, but then I come to Omaha and it's like a room full of people that I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in a way, it's more fun, but in some ways, it's harder because it's like, oh, there's my high school teacher. Cool. I'm just gonna keep singing. You know what?
It's
But
not distracting at all.
yeah, it's a little bit more distracting than like a normal average show on this tour. But it's also it's really fun, you know. And this one I'm playing at the Slowdown, and I used to open shows at the Slowdown all the time, like in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a bit of a full circle moment, going back there and headlining that room. So that'll be pretty fun.
Tell me about the EP that you have out right now. It's been out for a little while. How's it doing?
Good. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which EP you're talking about because I have a couple.
Well, yeah, you've got two out, but the latest one that just came out,
The Way You Break a Heart.
that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I'm really proud of all of those songs. I've been here in Nashville now for almost 6 years, which is crazy. Writing songs almost every day. And I feel like that piece of body of work is like probably the best one that I put out, to be honest.
I've spoken with other country artists that have moved to Nashville, and it's always interesting for me to be able to find out that, people talk about Nashville. Some say it's a 7-year town, some say it's a 10-year town, that you got to go for a while to be able to make any headway with it. How do you stay motivated, and how do you stay on track as you're going through that process? Because I know that it's got to be peaks and valleys as you're
Oh,
doing all of that.
yeah, it's a roller coaster. And I mean, when I first moved here, it was really scary. Like coming from Omaha is such a bigger city vibe, and like I was deathly afraid to drive on the interstate here in Nashville, but I still kind of am. The driving is crazy.
I've been
But
through that town. I have family that lives in Georgia, so driving, we're in Council Bluffs, so driving down
yeah,
there, yeah, you have to just constantly be moving all across traffic, and you wonder if anybody's looking at you. So yeah, I get it. The
it's insane.
traffic in Nashville is a little scary, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you're going through all of these things, and remembering to enjoy the ride, I think, is probably a big key to it.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, there were a lot of years here where, you're living on your dreams and just trying to, make ends meet and figure out how can I, meet this person that knows this person that can get me a meeting here. And, I mean, you really kind of just, you don't know what's going to happen, which is the fun part and the absolutely terrifying part because if you go to college, you get a degree in, finance, and then you get a job at a bank. You know, that's kind of like the path. But here it's really like you really just have no idea. Like you could be the next Lainey Wilson, or you could never make it. So you just have to kind of, the way I have dealt with it is just by, doing what I can do every day and working the hardest that I can every day and like thinking of, oh, what if I, post this with this caption, and then what if I like go to this writers round and maybe try to meet this person and get a meeting here, like just trying to do what I can every single day and think outside of the box. And I feel like that has paid off a lot. But I mean, I really had no idea what life was going to take me, but I did just get signed about a month and a half ago.
Yeah, congratulations. I saw
Thank
that.
you.
And describe that experience. It had to be a little bit surreal after all the work that you put in, and then suddenly you have a contract in front of you
Yeah.
and you're ready to sign. So I can only imagine the emotions that were going through you at that time.
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of people don't know about my story is how many times I have almost been signed. And, you're at the 1 yard line and someone comes and knocks you over, something crazy happens, or COVID, or like, it's almost happened for me a few times. And then so when this team came along and when they started, seeming genuinely interested in working together, I was like, sick, great. But like, I was in the back of my mind, like not getting too excited about it, you know? And then when I actually got the paperwork in front of me, I was like, okay, this is real. I hadn't really gotten to that point before yet where there's actually a contract. And then we had to go through all the negotiations of the contract, which was crazy. And then when I finally got to sign it, it was so crazy. After all of that work, after, I've really been performing and doing this since I was 13. So a long time, of work and so many tiny shows in Nebraska led to county fairs in Missouri and then moving to Nashville and so many years of that and, so many tours I've done. And it was literally all came down to a freaking DocuSign. And I was hoping it would come in the night before because so my mom was in town and we went out to the mall and we got like a dress for me to take in my signing picture because we knew it was going to happen. And we went out to dinner and it was literally down to a notary. It was down to a freaking notary. And then once the notary was done, I was going to get to sign it. And I thought I was going to sign it with my mom out to dinner. And the notary thing didn't happen. So I signed it the next day while I was in a writing session with like someone I'd never met before. I was like, hold on, we'll keep writing the song. But first, I just have to sign my record deal really quick.
Oh, that is so awesome. You brought up your mom, and you were out as a very young lady. You were out performing with your mom. How often, when you get out on stage on this headlining tour, has she popped into your mind?
Oh, all the time. Well, the thing that people, you know, we sang together for such a long time. We had so much fun together. And then in 2022, I kind of stepped out on my own and started releasing the songs that I had been writing as a solo artist. And I get asked in interviews all the time, like, does your mom hate you? Or like, people really think that because I went solo, they're like, I don't know. People just assume that there's bad blood there, but like, it couldn't be further from the truth. Like, she is my number one supporter. Like, and I talk to her every single day. Like, we're best friends. And so she pops into my mind a lot, but she's always there, you know. And now, I mean, I think we've kind of gotten used to our new roles of, I do this and she's a little bit more of a support system for me. But at the same time, there was a lot of things happening in her life that made way more sense for her to be a support role, So it's a great spot that we're in right now. And I kind of wish that people would stop assuming that my mother hates me, but
Yeah, this is, and I'm assuming that a lot of that stuff probably happens online. Welcome to the online world
yes.
where, people have whatever theory and then they start trying to find facts to support it. That's a whole different soapbox that I would get on, and that's going to completely change the scope of this interview.
Yeah.
So we're not going to go down that road. But, and also, I mean, you have music going back in your family for generations. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't come by this as any stranger. And it's, one generation building on the next, building on the next. And I would imagine that there's a lot of comfort in that, and that
Yeah.
you kind of feel like you're standing on a very solid foundation.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even really know until recently that my great grandma was an organist. And then at that time, that was pretty rare for a female to be a musician, So she was an organist. And then my grandma was, a big band jazz singer. And then my mom sang with her three sisters in Mulberry Lane. And then here I am doing my own country thing, But I think, looking back on it, I think watching Mulberry Lane and touring with them and being backstage and like I would be backstage with them and warm up with them and like, sing along to their songs in the audience and all that. And I just loved it. But I think that made it seem so possible, growing up. It was just like, I'm just going to be a singer like my mom. And then as I got older, I was like, oh, yeah, this is really tough. And, what they accomplished was totally remarkable, you know. But I'm so proud to be from my family. And now that I got signed, I'm the third generation to have a record deal. which is pretty
Wow.
crazy.
That is, yeah. And
Yeah.
to be able to carry that on. So, you talked about your mom and you talked about, moving into the support role. My guess, because, I'm the parent generation. So my guess is that she's finding a brand new level of satisfaction out of a music industry watching you do what it is that you're doing. And I'm speaking for her here, but she can't. I'm sure she could not be more proud of everything that's going on.
Oh yeah, she is the proudest, and also my younger brother is my drummer. He's 20. So it's kind of both of us out here, and my mom is super supportive of us both.
What new music? Anything that you're
Yeah.
working on right now? Is the kind of thing that just kind of inspiration strikes? So okay, we're pausing here for 10 or 15 minutes. I got to get some thoughts down, or how does that work for you?
Yeah, it is a lot of random thoughts that pop into my head, or like, I'll be listening to a podcast, or I'll be watching like The Bachelor or something. And, something they say will like spark
Yeah.
some inspiration. Or also, it could be, it's happened a few times. I walk into a session and I'm like, oh my God, this dude is so horrible. Look what he said to me. And like, I just feel like this and this and this. And then that becomes the song. It's so random, and every song is different. But yeah, it's wild. Like my biggest song today is called He Gave Me a Ring. And I wrote that song in like 20 minutes, just top
Yeah.
down. Like it just like poured out of me. And I had no idea that song was going to be so big.
Well, and I'd heard that there's a lot of truth in that story. It
Yeah.
wasn't as if it was just created that, look, sorry, man, if you're out there, you're a knucklehead. That you don't do that. Get into a fight and then propose. That's just the craziest thing.
No,
But
I know.
all
Yeah.
right, are you able to garner any memories as you go along with this? Does one show bleed into another, or are they all just kind of standing out on their own?
They're all different. I mean, especially when you're playing, these small club venues, which are great. But you walk in and, the stage is the stage is tiny or the stage is huge. Or, and it's a different experience every single time. But I've had some really fun memories on this tour so far, and this has been my first full band tour. So now I have a guitar player coming with me, and like we've had a lot of fun inside jokes in the van and all that stuff. So it's definitely been a good couple of weeks out. Yeah.
Is traveling from one to another? Is it a road trip, or are you flying? So you're road tripping it.
Yeah. Road
Well,
trip. It's been a lot of hours in the van together.
well, and plus, there's some parts of the country that are really beautiful, and others, is it okay? I've seen the pasture, and that's I can't take any more of the flat ground. I've seen them both. It's driving down to Georgia when you go through Southern Illinois.
Yeah.
Holy
Oh
cow!
yeah. I've
Yeah,
been through there.
yeah. It's
Yeah. I mean, we luckily, so we went to the West Coast and then we went to the East Coast. So those two have been pretty, decent drives. But now we're getting into the Omaha, Chicago, Minneapolis. That's what's left. So
right.
be a little bit
Well,
more Midwest, but
back into the Midwest, back into areas that you're familiar with, and that give you that home feel. So,
yeah.
what can folks expect coming out to the show on Friday? What are they going to be able to see?
Well, it's a really fun, country music show. If you love country music and maybe you've had your heart broken a couple times, maybe you got some trust issues. I think you're gonna like the Trust Issues tour. There's a lot of like upbeat, fun songs. I do some audience participation. I might bring a couple cowboys on stage with me. And then there's also some like really heartfelt moments and songs that'll really, hit you in the heart. So
Well, Belle's performing at the Slowdown this Friday in Omaha. Kelly, thank you so much for your time. I'm very grateful every time we get a chance to talk, and it's been fun watching your career so far. And I know
thank
that
you.
you're still just in the beginning stages, and I think you got even bigger things ahead. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Todd.
Huge things ahead for Bells, and you can see her at the Slowdown this Friday night. Show starts at 8, doors open at 7. So get on out and see her. Hometown talent, and that's one of my favorite things about my job and about my career, that I've gotten to see stars as they're on their way up. And there's a certain excitement about it. And you can see that with Kelly, too, that she loves what she's doing and she's passionate about it. And again, thank you for being on the show this morning. Also, thank you to Prairie and Pine Real Estate Group, Keller Williams of Greater Omaha, for helping us out with morning coffee. Mackenzie Shelton has offices in Council Bluffs. She has offices in Omaha and offices in Lincoln. That means that she has a very good understanding about everything that's going on across the entire region in the real estate market. And so if you are looking, especially if you're looking to relocate from one side of the river to the other, and as I mentioned before, come on over. We'd love to have you on this side and take a look at some of the different options that are there, and give Mackenzie a call. Prairie and Pine Real Estate Group, Keller Williams of Greater Omaha. And also, Carol Horner with Synchronicity has written a book called Spiral of Accountability. And this book is designed to help your team in your office or workplace be able to communicate better with each other in both good times and bad. You know, sometimes we can lose track on the best way to be able to talk to each other. I've experienced that myself. So this method that Carol has put together, Spiral of Accountability, cuts through all of that and really helps people understand where each other's coming from and how to communicate best with each other. So if you go to spiralofaccountability.com, you can find her book there. Pick up a copy, and then I have a feeling that you're going to want Carol to come in and speak to your business as well. So you can get all of that taken care of on her website, spiralofaccountability.com. Once again, Winterfest, just 2 days away. I tell you what, I'm going to pull my phone up here, and we're going to take a look and see what the weather is supposed to be on a Friday. That's the going to be the telltale sign. And right now, what I'm looking at, it says partly cloudy, high on Friday of 46. So you know it's going to start to cool down because we're supposed to get to a low of 29. So once the sun goes down, it's going to start getting a little bit chilly. So you're going to want to wear warm clothes. As you bring the kids out, make sure they're bundled up, hats, mittens, gloves, scarves, whatever it is that they need. And also, if they get too cold, you can stop over at the Masonic Lodge and say hi. I'll be over there, and you can pick up some free hot chocolate and some free cider and a cookie as well. So looking forward to seeing everyone this Friday. Winterfest, one of my favorite times, and Bayless Park it's a great park that we have in the city, right in the heart of the city. But when it's lit up for Christmas, there's nothing like it. So you're going to want to be there when they throw the switch, and that's promptly at 6. So get there early. Parking can be at a premium, especially with some of the streets blocked around the park. So keep that in mind. There will be obviously parking on the north side in the parking lots off the 100 block and a lot of the side streets as well. So plan ahead. Don't think that you can get there a couple of minutes before and park and make it into the park in time. You're going to want to be there ahead of time. So make plans to do that, and visit some of the vendors, and plan on having dinner there with all the food trucks and everything. And I know some of them that are going to be there, and I'm looking forward to seeing some old friends as well. All that coming up this Friday. That's going to wrap up this episode of Morning Coffee. Thanks for being along, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. My name's Todd Studer. Have a great Wednesday.